Hello everyone, this is Kyle Randall Tanzik from Michigan Medieval. Today we're going to be reviewing Lessons of the Broadsword Masters by Christopher Scott Thompson. So to give you an idea of my own personal biases, I'm not a member of the Cateran Society, but I got about 14 years of human experience, and most of that is working with broadsword sources. So let's have a look at the book's image clarity and kind of overall general appearance. It has a very bookstore kind of trade paperback look. The illustrations are clear, but occasionally you get these photographs that are a bit dark. Like, you can understand it when you're reading it, no problem. But holding it up to people to teach them from a distance, or look at it maybe from, if it's rested on the floor, to look at it as a reference, you're going to kind of struggle to see them because they're a little dark. But generally speaking, it's fine. No complaints, really. The images and clarity and text and everything is pretty good. Moving on. Durability, not great. Binding is glued in. The paper is very thin. The cover is just paper, pretty much. Because of the book is kind of a larger format, I'm inclined to want to do like this. I'm a little afraid I might rip it. So not great durability for a textbook you might carry around a lot. One thing with the overall look of this book is it'd be cooler if it looked a little more like, I always say this in every video, if it looked more like a prop, you know, like this cool Skyrim book, like an ancient tome kind of. That'd be nice, but again, it's an obscure textbook, so what are you gonna do? Okay, translation and transcription is good. They went to the trouble of changing the long S's and F switch thing, which is super irritating for most modern readers if you're not used to it. And even I've read a bunch of these books, I'm still kind of annoyed by it. It's like an 18th century thing. So this is not a complete word-for-word transcription. It's lots of like if you look at a page, you'll have some interpretations and mostly text and like excerpts and snippets and things, you know, separated by bits of text kind of explaining what you're, like, backing up what they're telling you. Okay, practicality. Does it stay open? Sorta. Some of the beginning pages, no. Some of the middle pages, yes, which makes me inclined to want to, like, crease it. And then we're like, I probably shouldn't be doing that for durability reasons. Does it have a table of contents? Yes, a very good one. In fact, pretty concise and, yeah, pretty good one, yeah. The images line up with the text. Yeah, this is important. Okay. No, generally speaking, not really. There are very few illustrations in here, and usually it's like to clarify something from like a few pages before. Here we can see like a long stretch of illustrations with no text until you get like long before or long after those images appear. So that's kind of obnoxious to have to be like flipping back and forth. You know, here's the image, here's the corresponding text. But like, you know, it's not a huge problem. It's just a little bit of an annoyance. One thing that makes this book very practical is it is a clear and concise listing and modern kind of compilation of all these books and putting them concisely together. How much does it cost? $25 for a paperback. That's fine. I mean, considering how thick this book is, you know, that's a reasonable price. Yeah, sure. What you get for your money? 296 pages. A bunch of stuff. I think it's a worthy cost for what you get. So, moving on. My closing thoughts are, this is an awesome book if you're a beginner to broadsword, or if you're a beginner to HEMA in general. This will really walk you through everything you need to know. If you're an experienced practitioner, this will give you like the Cliff Notes version of how to do broadsword, basically. If you're like me and you kind of have been doing this for a while, I buy books mostly now for like direct translations, direct transcriptions, you know, reprints of old 18th, 19th century books. For me, it was like, this is useful, but I kind of feel like I could get away with just using the basic texts. So to me, this was just like a really good teaching aid. And this is the book I recommend to my students now. They did a great job of making a modern update and a compilation of all these other texts into one big comprehensive book, which is why I recommend it to my students. The one thing I would say, to me, that's kind of like, it's of no use to me really, other than just like maybe setting up like a pathway for someone to learn this. But the last like about 50 pages of this 300-page book, so it's not a ton of the book, but the last like 50 pages are strictly just about like the Cateran Society's learning pathways. and kind of like their like educational organization type stuff, which is like useful if you're a member of the Catarant Society. Yeah, that's great. Or if you just want to learn and you're looking for a pathway to do it, that's cool. But for me, it's not very useful. So for me, it's like, yeah, again, it's like 50 pages out of 300 in this massive book, so that doesn't take away too much. But yeah, pick this one up. Always like, comment, and subscribe. If you got any questions, please let me know. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Cheers, guys. Have a good day.